the infinite tunnel that when you do like a video that records its own self, it kind of creates an infinite tunnel. All right, anyone who's not here today, I know my recording's weird because I'm in Howard's room. This recording might get trashed because the audio is probably going to be bad. But 106 from the homework. Guys, this is going to be a more difficult problem. And if you haven't looked at this yet, why? You've had this homework for like 2 days now. Okay, maybe you just picked it up yesterday, but still, we need to get in a better habit of like looking at and attempting our homework the night it's assigned so you know what questions you have. Whether you underline or highlight this stuff, and I think there's a few highlighters in here. If somebody wants to run and grab my bin from the back of the room, you can, but we have some important things told to us like we're getting used to. Identify the important stuff. So you right now could just underline that or put a box around it. But in 106, the fact that the base is 3 times longer than the height feels important. What else? Yeah, you can run and grab it if you want. Just on the back counter. I think they're all stacked up, and there's one with all of the highlighters in it. What else feels important, Jane? That they tell us the area. Now, that's not going to do us much good unless we remember the formula for area. What's our formula for area? For a triangle. Yeah, so if I imagine my triangle, right, and if I was you, I'd maybe draw a picture on your paper. Now, this picture's not accurate, but the picture doesn't have to be accurate. If you want to try to draw an accurate picture, our base should probably look like it's triple the height. But I'm not worried about, if you want highlighters, grab them. Thank you, Matt. I'm not worried about making my picture look right because I don't actually know what things really need to look like yet. But then we can write down that the area formula is, I like writing it like this better. 1/2 of the base times the height when I'm doing problems like algebra problems, because to set up a fraction makes me write smaller. You could also write base times height divide by 2, but then like my stuff I just have to write smaller. Kind of annoying. Is this in the way, or can you guys see around the computer? Kind of in the way. Yeah, this video is gonna get real weird, but well, because it's gonna move all around like my webcam thing. Is that better? Okay. The audio might be garbage on this, but I'll probably still upload it so you guys can at least go back and see what we were doing. So I'm going to use this way of writing it. These are both the same. We do not need to go get them, but I also am missing my cards. I feel like I just... So what can I do, like what we've been practicing the past 2 days, what can I do with the info that they told me? I haven't really done anything with the stuff I highlighted. I just drew a picture and wrote out a formula that we should know by now. Donna? So I could write B is equal to 3 times H. Yeah, I don't know why my brain can't make a decision of uppercase, lowercase. So
I just do uppercase.
My bad. Like, yeah, I might just swap this to uppercase. I often do height lowercase for some reason.
It's easier.
I don't know. Also, uppercase B sort of looks like 13, though, so be careful. All right, so B is 3H. Love it. What about if I try to write out like H equals? What should I write for H equals? Oh, yeah, H would just equal H because this is using H. So I would like to keep using H. What can I do now? I don't have cards, but I'm going to just say I'm not calling on the same people twice. So, sorry, Jane and Donna, you're done now. What can I do now? Sophie? We can replace our B with what we just said about B. It's really 3H. So we can say, okay, the 1/2 times, instead of writing B, 3H. Guys, I hope you're writing this down with me. There's a problem on the test exactly like this. No joke. I printed the test this morning. There's a question. I'm probably going to show you the test today. We're going to start it tomorrow, but it doesn't matter because we're going to come back to it after Discovery Day. So I just want you guys to like get a little sampling of what's on the test. What do you need to practice? If you haven't been keeping up with your homework, that Discovery Day break will be a good time to catch up. Okay, I know something else I have not written down yet. Lane? Yeah, this A I can replace with 486, but actually with how my board is like spaced right now, I'm gonna write it over on this side because it doesn't make a difference how like which side of my equation things go on. I could put equals 486 over here, but I'm a little tight on space. So I can put it over here. I could honestly put it both places, but that makes things kind of complicated. Now it gives me 3 sides of the equation. You don't want to work those problems yet? Can I do 3h times h?
Yeah.
Let's forget about the 3 for a minute. What's h times h? And this is why we're going over this together.
Oh, is it?
I'm not going to do anything with the 1/2, and I'm not going to do anything with the 3 right now. Guys, h plus h is 2h, right? H plus another h is 2h. H times h is h squared. And this, we haven't really done variables squared yet. That's why we're doing this together. And you should be writing this down because we haven't done this yet. So I'm going to write 1/2 brought down, 3 brought down. The h times h becomes h squared. And that still equals 486. Have we done any on both sides stuff? No, because first you got to simplify. First you got to do what you can before we can do the on both sides stuff. What's half of 3? You know a better way to write it? 3 halves. 3 times a half is 3 halves. Trust me, give me like a minute and hopefully you'll believe me on why that's a better way to write it. We talked about this last week, I think. I want to get rid of that entire fraction. Can anyone remember how we can destroy a whole fraction, top and bottom, at the same time? Sam, yes or no? You keep... No, because then I'd just be at like 2, 8, like, well, then it'd get really complicated. But remember, we're not dealing with just numbers. We're dealing with like 3 halves of h. So I don't really want to add things because I'll have to add them on both sides, and that gets a little messy. Ashley? By? We need to multiply by 2 to undo the what? Undo the division by 2, right? This is division by 2. I want to undo that, so I multiply by 2. But at the same time, I'm not going to be sad when you guys can't do this on the test. I'm going to remind you of you goofing off in class. At the same time, I want to undo multiplication by 3. Nope, you already went today. No, Lane did. Emery, go ahead. How do I undo this multiplication by 3?
You divide by 3?
We divide by 3. This, again, if you want to make the note, which I, doubt many of you will, it's the reciprocal. But when I hear reciprocal, I really think reflipperical. You can destroy an entire fraction by flipping it over and multiplying. Because the 3 wipes out the 3, the 2 wipes out the 2, but when I do this on the left, we gotta also do it on the right. Now hold up, here's the tricky part that might goof some of you up. 486 is a fraction. Any number is a fraction if we just put it over 1. So now times 2/3, because we did it on the left, so we do it on the right. You could, on your paper, this wipes out, this wipes out, this wipes out, this wipes out. Or you could write 6/6, but that feels a little silly. Right, this becomes 6/6, which is just 1. So they all wipe out to 1, but now we have h squared. Anyone got a calculator? I brought them over. I see. Yeah. Can we do 486? Now, be careful. When you do fractions in your calculator, unless you got familiar with how to type in fractions in your calculator, and even then, I would caution you to do it like this. Put your fraction in parentheses, and you use division, right? So this is 2 divided by 3 times 486.
So wait, wouldn't you just do like 486 times 2, 3 times 2, and then divide the 486?
So we could do 486 times 2 and then divide by 3. We could do that.
Yeah.
What'd you guys get? Just say it at the same time. 324. Turn to your neighbor and make a guess. How do we get rid of that little 2? How do we get rid of something being squared?
This is hard. There's not much room.
Well, good thing you always have graph paper on your table. Guys, this is something we have not learned, which is, yeah, I actually get to teach you something today.
Don't you teach us everything?
Well, I know, but even today being like an abbreviated weird day, we do still have something to learn today. Sam? We can't divide. Sorry, what did you ask? We're doing all 6 classes. I gotta check when this class is over. I had a schedule in my pocket, and then I lost it.
It's up there. Write it on the board.
Is that today?
Yeah.
Sweet. 44. All right. Anyone have a guess you think you're confident with? And actually, I did this with a couple people already. Raiden? So if you divide by h, your right side will now be 324 divided by h. Like, you're not wrong. This is h times h, and we want to get rid of, like, but no, that's messy. So you're not wrong. That would just get really messy. On your calculator, there is a button that says squared. It has an X with a little 2 right here. I don't have my calculator poster. It's in my classroom. I knew I would forget things for this class. The secondary function of it is what we call the square root. Jack, you have 10 seconds to finish those and throw it away because you just came from lunch. You know this. You should not be snacking after lunch. You are absolutely not hearing what I'm saying. The only thing you care about is those pretzels right now. The symbol looks like this, and on your calculator, it is the second function. So you got to hit the second button of squaring. Your calculator, it might be different, Lane. I don't know if yours is actually. Yeah, I just don't know if it's the same second. Yeah, so second function of that. So if you have a calculator at your table, hit the second function, get that little square root symbol, and then type in 324. What we're trying to figure out. Actually, everyone pause. What we're trying to figure out is what number h, when you multiply it by itself, equals 324. Because h squared is h times h. We're trying to figure out what number times itself makes this number. What number does it? 18. Now, there's another way we could have done this problem.
Bro, that was hard.
And when I say this, some of you might think I'm a hypocrite, and some of you don't know what hypocrite means. Anyone know what it means to be a hypocrite? Like, I want, like, an actual, Jackson, do you actually know it?
Yeah.
Okay, what's it mean to be a hypocrite?
It means you say, oh, you can't do that, but then you immediately do it, or like.
You say one thing and do another,
What
right?
prohibition was, basically. That's what I learned.
Yeah, so there were lawmakers like voting to outlaw alcohol, and then they were going and sneaking alcohol, right? So that's what Jackson's talking about. Like, oh, alcohol's bad. Let me have this secret. Like, like, it's not cool, right? So a funny saying that we used to have at church camp actually was hypocrites are not hip with it. But you guys might think I'm a hypocrite when I tell you the way you could have taken for this problem. What'd you say, Sophie?
But you said don't do it.
No, I did not.
You said you don't like it.
I said algebra's better. And I still believe that. But is this algebra the same algebra we've been practicing? Not when we get down here. You're probably not very comfortable with this algebra yet. So if you're not comfortable with that, and we set up the 5D process, now you don't have to set this up on your paper. We already know what the answer is, right? But if I didn't know what the answer was, maybe I start with 10 as my height, because they say the base is 3 times the height. So this would be 30. Okay, that would be 300. Half of 300 is 150. Ooh. Am I close, low, high? What? Way low, right? Super low. So then maybe my next guess would be 20. With 20, and so, yes, it's too much because we know what the answer is. But I'm just talking through the 5D process. Then here you would have gotten 300 for your area. Wait, no. 20 to 600. Who's humming?
That was me. I'm sorry. I saw that.
So I'd say, are you just such an expert at this that you're too bored and you need to make a song in your head?
I'm literally always singing in my head, or I'm singing when I'm doing work at home.
That's fine when you're doing work at home, but when there's 20 people around you, you got to have some self-control.
No, I stopped. You looked around and you like gave that little.
So we shouldn't need to do the look around though. So at this point, maybe I would drop back to 15 or 16 or 17, but now that we know the answer is 18, like we know that based off the algebra we just did. So when you see a question like this on your test, which you will, you can 5D process if you want, or you can do the algebra because instead of 486, this big number with a lot of, I give you a much smaller number. If you 5D process, it should be a much shorter, like you shouldn't have to guess all over the place. This area that I give you, I think it's like 36 or something. It's a much smaller number, easier to work with. Questions? All right, look at your paper from today, whatever that number is. I really wish I had my cards to like just randomly ask people things. But no, it's now we only have like 5 minutes left. Matt, what does x equal? What? No, it's a what? We haven't read this yet. What does x equal? Say it louder. X is x, right? Like we said, like F is F, H is H, K, like whatever. These sticky notes are getting stuck on me. So if we don't know what number X is, we do still know X is X. I'm trying to think of people I haven't called on. Ezekiel, does X equal X plus 3? Does X equal X plus, instead of saying X, does your age now equal your age in 3 years? No, that's silly. Right? Will your age always equal your age?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you turn 13, you're 13. When you turn 4. But will my age ever equal my sister's age? No, because she's 2 years older than me. This brings up cases with infinite solutions. Actually, we're going to make that green because green feels better for infinite.
It would be funny. It's like the thing that happened in Marvel.
And no solutions. Guys, I hate to tell you. Do you guys have any self-control? You cannot stop turning around and looking at him. Why? So I'm guessing because everyone's silent, there's no good reason. You need to learn this, and I have 10 minutes less than normal today. Your 626 should be in front of you, or whatever today's paper is. Your pencil should be ready to write. We have two special equation situations that we've never encountered yet. If I give you x equals x and I ask you what is x, can x be 5?
No.
Would 5 equal 5?
Yeah.
Could x be 10?
Yes.
Could x be negative 4?
Yes.
Could x be a billion?
Yes.
This is a situation that has an infinite number of solutions. Now, you can't actually, like, our brains are not wired to understand infinity because any number we put in here would work. So what is my limit to solutions?
None.
There is none. If I tell you to name every solution, you'll be here forever. And also our brains don't really understand forever very well. But this in math is what we will now say the solution, so we don't, just spend forever writing out solutions, is any real number. And you should write that on your paper, and you might want to write the words out to the side that ARN stands for any, what did I do with it? Any real number. Because any real number that we plug in there will be a solution. Now, those of you that have your brains wired for science, that like math is a science essentially, are thinking, wait, real numbers? Yes, there are non-real numbers. You do not need to worry about those right now, but there are non-real numbers only because the system that we've decided we're working in is operating with real numbers. But guys, it's like saying Earth is the only place. No, there's a whole universe out there. So saying our counting numbers are the only numbers, there's a whole universe out there. There are non-real numbers. We're not going to talk about those today.
Like
Sophie? So irrational numbers are still real. Yeah, like they still are real. They exist. Like pi. Yeah, pi is an irrational number, but it's still real. Could pi equal pi? Yeah. We're not going to talk about non-real numbers today. We're not going to talk about not real numbers today. Now, yeah, the square root of -1, like we just talked about, what number times what, and we had 486 or whatever. What number times itself makes -1 is impossible. So this, in math, we have called I, or the imaginary number, and it's not real. That's as much as we're going to talk about it today. Go YouTube if you're more curious.
Okay.
Imaginary is a bad name, though. I'll just say that, I wish we hadn't. The other name for it is lateral numbers, because if we call our number system, like right here, those other numbers are lateral. They go the other direction. So the other situation, because infinite is ARN, are no solutions. Now, I used to be able to say this in my teaching, but now, you guys don't see it, because fortunately, Ohio has outlawed smoking. You used to oftentimes, when you went into restaurants, see this is the no smoking section, and unfortunately, in the same room, normally, there were okay, these tables you can smoke, and these tables you can't, and it's well, we're all breathing the same air. But that used to be you'd see a little picture of a cigarette, and they'd be no, don't do that. When can x plus 1 equal x? Never. When will you equal your age next year? When will my coffee turn into my coffee plus 1? This is so this symbol is no solution. You can't really see that very well. This symbol means no solution. It essentially means you got lied to from the beginning. Now I want you to turn to your neighbor, and we have 30 seconds left, and talk about when could x equal 2x, and this is not a no solution problem. Take 20 seconds, talk to your neighbor. When could x equal double x? I'm not calling on you until you guys have 20 seconds. Yeah, even out of it. Yeah, it's I mean, you'll see it written some other ways. I don't know if it really matters, but that's how I've always seen it.
On both sides. On both sides.
Yeah. When will x equal double x? When will a number equal twice itself? So guys, here's my concern. Hey, bring it back because I want to get you out of here. Here's my concern. You're going to start to overuse the no solution when you just get, like, you start to struggle and you're like, oh, maybe this problem has no answer. Can anyone tell me when a number can equal twice itself? Sophie? But what number can be doubled and stays the same? 1 doubled is 2. 0. Because 0 equals double itself. We're going to do the rest of these tomorrow, and then we're going to start your test. Have a great day, guys.
Mr. Hudson, I can go get your.
No, I'll go. Honestly, I don't need them next